Lord have mercy. Well, it looks a certain way. Okay, anywho, I don't know why my phone is doing that. Okay. Let's get started. All right, guys. So today is Coffee and Tarot. Obviously, I am going live so that I don't have to upload because you know me and uploading. Such a bucket. Pardon my French. Anywho's, let's get started. So Coffee and Tarot. It is the time where we come, sit down, we prepare to have a conversation with Spirit. Spirit takes complete control, meaning that we don't come in with any kind of preconceived notions, assumptions, questions, parameters, timelines, anything like that. So it's free reign. Spirit gets to talk about whatever the heck it wants to talk about. And usually it's a conversation. It's like it's a lengthy read. So that's why we always show up with our coffee. Okay. Hey, Alyssa, Kelsey. Well, good. Let's figure out what time I got. Look. I love it when a bunch of women show up. Okay, anyway, so settle in. Grab something. Your lemon water, your matcha, your coffee, whatever it is. We're going to settle in and listen for the message, okay? Friendly reminder, you're a sovereign being over your life. You get to determine if, how, when, where, why any of these messages might apply. So my suggestion is to never Cinderella shit to make it fit, okay? Okay. All righty. See, the kids are about to go back to school, so I can get back on like some of my older schedules. And I'm so excited. So happy. Anna, look at you, girlfriend. Early. Wait, what is today? Oh, I guess that's normal. Tomorrow's your day off. Actually, are you proud of me though? I'm up. I even got the kids up. We did a practice run this morning because school starts tomorrow. It's been a busy week. And the little man turned 9. He turned 9. He's not little anymore. In fact, he's got like taste in clothing. And he's getting a little like he still has like these, little boy desires, but like he also was like he doesn't want his book bag because it's all one. Like it doesn't look like a big boy book bag. Okay, it's just like the one zipper, and it's just one compartment, and then it has like Sonic on it, and he's like, that's not, And I was like, okay. I was like, well, like he got it for his birthday, from his family, and he didn't want to. He didn't want to hurt nobody's feelings. He's so cute. He's such a sweetheart. So anyway, and then like he wants a shirt, but he doesn't want like characters. He wants and he wants it on the back. The design has to be on the back. I was like, when did you show up? Because since when do you have an opinion other than cars? So anyways, I was looking for something. I don't know what I was looking for now. Anywho, let's just get started. Let's dive in. I just had to brag on him. He's starting 4th grade. Okay, so maybe I was looking for the book. I don't know. Was I looking for the book? I know where the book is. I usually read from the book. Hold on, guys. I'm discombobulated. You're just gonna have to deal with it. No, it's not it. A fear. I think it's over on my chair. Give me a second. Okay, there's one book. Where's the other one? Yeah. Ouch. Found it. God. I had to go on a hunt. Ooh. Was that the whole time? All right, let's do this. Good morning, everybody. I know it's not morning for everybody, but get this show on the road. London. Hi. Welcome. We have South Africa, London, and usually Australia too, but he's not here. All right, here we go. Fly by night. Shadow work. Well, it's going to be a conversation, ladies, okay? And gents. They got some shit to say. I'm going to say one more. Okay, here we go. Buckle up, buttercup. I do, with this particular deck, always open it up. Certain Oracle decks are infused with the intentions of the creator, right? And they're just heavy presence. Sometimes you don't need the book, and other times it's like I'm not rewriting I'm not reinventing the wheel, so to speak, right? It's best said. This is the one tarot deck ever that I will whip out the fucking book and be like, you know what I mean? Otherwise, no. But I love the way they do stuff. That's Starman Tarot. So this is Moon Magic Oracle. Fly by night is kind of like fleeting, not lasting. So like enjoy it while you can, but also be cautious. You know, like it can be the flip side of that is like being cautious because something may not stick around. It may not have like staying power. And so it's kind of like something coming in for a good time, not for a long time type of thing. And then shadow work, like having this precede the shadow work. I'm like, you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't, okay, so we're going to channel first. But unicorn moon is kind of like that unicorn, like it's the unicorn desire or wish. You know, something that's like, sometimes we can fantasize and play in the field of possibilities and ruminate on things that are seemingly, is what I want to say, fly by night. Right? But we want to believe that it's the unicorn moment, the unicorn time. We're the unicorn where it's the exception, right? I don't know why that wanted to come out, but we're now gonna whip shit out and see what it says. Threes are significant. I'll tell you that much. Sorry. Fly by night is can be anything from upheaval, betrayal, selfishness to erratic. Their true nature hides in the shadows. I'm getting like Knight of Wands kind of energy from this. And I don't know why I want to say, I feel like this is a little bit of for you. Like, I want to say too quick to believe somebody, too quick to trust somebody, too quick to go in on with somebody. Now, this could be friendship, your network circle. It just feels like fair weathered friends or fair weathered people in your life. Talking about individuals who sweep into your life, turn it upside down, and then disappear without warning, leaving a trail of destruction and devastation behind you for you to deal with. Talks about yo-yo. It's inconsistency. That's really what we're going to get down to. This is inconsistency on any level, whether it's from a person, your acceptance of and willingness to allow inconsistency in your life. It's that yo-yo back and forth. It is. I just get the feeling of like somebody who can show up temporarily but can't maintain that consistency and your willingness to let that slide. Kind of like I'm going to be the good friend and hold space for them they're going through something, or things are just different, or that's just who they are, or that's how they are. Because this isn't just like somebody coming and leaving. It feels like a cycle of people coming and leaving, coming and leaving, coming and leaving. So this could be new individuals, but it's also like I feel like your community. And for some of you, maybe it's you. Um, so this can go like what you're willing to tolerate with family, what you're willing to tolerate when you are in a relationship with new individuals. Um, I just oh, my stomach. I just want to say, believe a person when they tell you who they are the first time. I think that you are the person of second, third, fourth, fifth chances. Um, and you pass it off as like, well, I don't really expect much anyways from, and it's like whether you expect much from a person, whether you're actually like, you know what, they're brand new, I wasn't expecting much from them. Like that's not a reason to give it, to allow it to stay in your life. You want to get rid of inconsistency in your life as it's unfolding, then you need to get rid of inconsistency, period, is what I want to say. And that's where the shadow work comes into play. Giving it a free pass to remain in your life is probably why your life feels like it's on loops and inconsistent, because you've given it space to stay. Because what happens, what if we get that unicorn moment? Okay. Now, I haven't read this card yet, but what I'm getting off of it is that it reminds me of the strength card, right? The uniqueness, like in this deck. In this particular deck, the Secret Tarot, instead of a lion, it's a unicorn. Because the strength and bravery it takes to be your unique and authentic self, that unicorn that attracts attention, but also because it attracts, like, it also attracts negativity and things like, what I mean? It's the idea of um, this unique thing, like somehow doing that and having that pattern and you being like that. But what if this is the one time where this person is needing to work through something? Or what if this is the one time where I am misinterpreting it? Or what if this is the one time where it does work out and this person is significant in my life? And I'm also getting like relationships where you stay and like there's a guilt that if I don't stay, then I give up too easy, or I'm not all in, or I want someone to hold space for me like that. Is that really what it is? Then it brings us back to the idea of how consistent are you in your life? And maybe that's the whole point. The shadow work that needs to be done is around inconsistency. And then I'm getting, you are unique. You are a unicorn. But there's also a level of inconsistency that you show up for yourself in your life. And so, what does that say about you and your beliefs and love for the self? It's like you might say the words, I love myself, I respect myself, I believe in myself, I love who I am authentically. But yet, the only thing consistent is your inconsistency. How does that scream, I love myself? It's almost like showing up inconsistently as yourself or for the self. Okay, let's just read it. I could go forever because that's an endless stream of consciousness right there. Oh, shit, better. Excavation, healing, and past hurts. Um, you're being heavily influenced by something from your past, and it's holding you back and hindering your progress in life. This card represents an emotional excavation, digging those things up. It means facing your past with courage and refusing to allow it to color your future. Do not live your present life in a state of anger, fear, or anxiety, or be governed by the things that happened in your past. Face your past, vanquish it, and move on in love and light. So they want you to kind of like discover the root cause of your inconsistency. I feel like that's probably something that's what we're going to be talking about. Because this is, I feel like it's replicated throughout your life, in all honesty. And it may just be an old pattern of you inconsistently showing up for yourself. And this may be a conversation not so much about you needing to do shadow work right now, but you embodying who you really are, like embodying this new you. It's walking the talk, right? You may have healed all of these things. You may have, in such a degree. I'm also getting something where it's like healing through this idea of like these inconsistent individuals, new or old, and but also like pulling yourself into some form of isolation so that you aren't encountering new people, which means you don't really get to embody this. Does that make sense? Because how am I supposed to walk talk if I consistently put myself in a safe space where I don't have to actually encounter anybody who's inconsistent? And I get the sense that someone feels like, why can't I just do this? Why can't it just move on? I feel like there's a loop for somebody going on. And it's kind of like it keeps happening and it keeps coming full circle. And you're like, there might be a real resistance to showing up for yourself in whatever way, right? In whatever way this is. Um, and it has something to do with the past. Okay, let's move on. We're gonna get to it, okay? We're gonna figure this shit out. Don't you love it when we get to have these conversations? Thank you, Spirit. I love you so much. Hope, calm, and manifestation. Here's some shit I did not know. Okay, you ready for this? The fabled unicorn has been a symbol of the moon since the Middle Ages. And together with his companion slash rival, the lion, we just talked about the strength card, he ensures that night always follows day, which is brought in by the lion. Uh, Unicorn does talk about all things being possible if only you believe in them enough. So is that where your inconsistency comes in? Your belief? Approach your goal with careful, considered steps as you would approach a magical unicorn. Have faith in your own power and believe in yourself and your ability to craft a life you love. Something about that. Somebody lacks the belief in their ability to craft a life that they love. And that is probably the root of the root of why you are so inconsistent and why that lack of belief that you can create a life that you love is also why you allow inconsistency. It's almost like I don't believe there is anybody that could show up in a consistent manner. Like this is just normal. And so your tolerance for certain things because you believe there's no real anything otherwise, like the opposite isn't true. Um, or it's some kind of idolized concept that you are willing to put up with that. Okay. The last card, which I haven't even touched on, is Moonflower. Aw, Sharn, you're sweet. Thank you. All righty. Okay, where you at, motherfucker? Blossoming, growth, and accomplishments. A time of blossoming is about to begin. It's encouraging you to take on new challenges, become more self aware, emotionally intelligent, and resilient. Now is not the time to hide away and stagnate or to stay closed up. Now's the time to turn your face to the light and drink in what nourishes you. Growth can be painful at times or uncomfortable, occasionally coming about through difficult life lessons, but have faith that you will be all the better for it. It's asking you to become an active participant. Ooh, inconsistency, motherfuckers. In your own life. When you small achievements breed confidence. Increased confidence leads to a greater achievement. Set your mind to something, expand your skill set, and know that you have the capacity to grow into even more dynamic and accomplished individual. It is about believing in yourself. So let's find out what happened in the past that got you to this point where you don't believe you can create the I'm just getting honestly I'm just getting past efforts, failed past efforts. And I think we need to have a conversation of what that actually looks like because I look at my past efforts sometimes as it was all for naught, right? Like for what? I have my master's degree and I don't even use it now. And so I don't look at that so much as an accomplishment anymore. Or that it was successful because what I wanted to do and what I intended to do with that degree never occurred. In fact, I encountered an immense amount of red tape to do such, where it was like almost the system is set up to ensure that I couldn't, and subsequently burned the fuck out to the point where like I'm like never ever again, never. And when I say I lack any and all passion for it, so I don't necessarily look at that as to pour that much time, effort, energy, love, that kind of stuff into something where later you feel as if you're so misaligned with it that like I don't want to say abandon it, but what's the fight for? Right? Like what is it even for? What does it even matter? What is it? I don't ever want to fight that hard again. That is something in my life. Um, Never again do I want to pour that much energy into something, right? And so, but other people would be like, "You have your master's degree? You did what did you know?" Like, and if they heard the projects that I did, or working with the Brookings Institute on certain things, like people would be like, "Oh my god," like they other people would be like, and I'm like, nothing came of it. So it's something like because I think sometimes people think when we say like a failed achievement or like something not going, it's like you never even made any headway or progress on it, and that's not the case. It's something about it defeated you or you felt defeated from, and it was not what you envisioned, desired, um, wasted effort, wasted time. When something steals an aspect of yourself or you feel like you had to forsake yourself, which is really, I mean, you're just repeating that pattern when you allow inconsistent individuals in your life because you're having to compromise an aspect of the self, some level of an integrity with yourself, in order to allow them to remain in your life. You're having to compromise your sense of self-worth or respect at times to give them the leeway and the malleability to remain. So I'd say it's not so much like don't think of it as in did I achieve a goal? I did. I set out to get my master's. I got my master's. You know what I mean? And then I used my master's degree until I didn't. Until life poo-pooed. You know what I mean? And so it's one of those things where it's like redefine what when we're talking about accomplishments or goals or trying to move towards something or think in the realm of when you're in your past traumas where it's like the little kid that has this vision, this dream, um, and the pursuit of such may have created a sense of despair, trauma, desperation, lack. This could also be outside the realm of achievements, but anything in your past that required you in order to that you feel stole a bit of your essence or stole time from you or stole that you had to forsake any aspect of the self for. Okay, that's what it feels like. And so in order to it's just a repeated pattern. That's how we let inconsistency into our life. It seems oversimplified that something like that could translate into inconsistency, but it often does. Mhm. It is. Okay, so let's pull some cards. Um, I just feel like I don't ever want to feel like I've done that. And if you believe that you're always going to have to sacrifice some kind of aspect of yourself, then why show up? And why on fucking earth would you expect anybody else to actually show? There's this pessimistic undertone to this of if I don't have the expectation, then I can't get disappointed and I can't feel traumatized. But that leaves you with a lifetime of lack. And that's a prison sentence right there. Sometimes believing in other people is a reflection of believing in yourself. You know how sometimes we will say, I know love like this can exist because I embody it, because that's how I love. And so I know it exists simply because of that. Sometimes other people can be that for us as well. There's an underlying, I don't know if I believe this exists without sacrificing the self. Um, I can think of several people that I know from social media that it just seems like they got their shit together and they really fucking show up all the time. But I wonder if in doing so, they are living at their expenditure. So I'm going to use my sister as an example. Um, she raises two children with autism, one with ADHD. She herself is neurodivergent. and has a situation where her husband has had to travel exponentially throughout life. Okay. Um, and her only way of coping is to consistently be moving and working towards something. As soon as she achieves something, she has to keep going, or else she starts to unravel. And but she's numb and unhappy. So she has all this stuff that she moves through and she accomplishes, and but she looks, sounds, and is exhausted. It's like, at what cost, right? At what cost in order to. That's the feeling I have with this, is where it's like, I feel like you're exhausted of the stagnation, of the loop, of the merry-go-round that you're on. So exhausted that you just sit there. Because that's what my sister says. If I sit down, if I stop, I might never start again. And I think that's where you hit. It's not, it's like, it's beyond burnout. It's beyond um numbing. It's beyond CPTSD or any of these things. It is, I at the core lack the belief, and therefore have no fire or motivation. If you have 0 ounces of faith in something, what's the fucking point? You won't. So the theme is inconsistency, but an utter total lack of faith or belief. And that's the thing you embodied. That instead of the other stuff, instead of walking the talk of anything is possible, and I can absolutely, you know, it has zapped you of any and all passion, life force. What's the fucking point? So it feels as if it's like, how sometimes you get sick and you're like, I can't even lift the spoon to my mouth. I'm that sick. Like, I just feel like so blah. It's the, at best, all you can ever do is go and dip your toe into the pool. It's too much. It's too exhausting. So you replicate an energy of inconsistency in your life, which is only reflected back to you. And I don't care how this started. It very well may have been that you showed up all the fucking time. Like, you were in a place at one point. Inconsistency was not a thing. Either other people kept showing up inconsistently, or you felt like the world itself showed up inconsistently, and somehow it infiltrated you. Now I want you to remember, mind, body, spirit. As above, so below, but as below, so above. They interchangeably impact one another. So no matter where this started, it started, and then now you're in the fucking loop. And now you're in the lack. So if you've been getting messages of, you need to get out of lack, you need to get out of lack, you need to get out of lack. And I mean, what the fuck does that even mean? Because there's a million different ways that can show up. This is what they're talking about. How do they get out of this? How do they break this cycle? That's the question. like an Egyptian goddess deck, but it has certain energies for each of the cards, and so I'm going to use it. I feel like you put your toe in and you expect an immediate. It's almost like I'm owed this because whatever the fuck I just had to go through. It's a sense of self-preservation and an attempt to honor the self, to never give too much time, never give too much fucking energy, never to give anything that doesn't reciprocate. To never sacrifice an aspect of the self again. I want that one. Truth and fairness. The truth is, this existence is not fair. And much like our court systems, the balancing of the scales don't always happen in a timely fashion. And no matter what we do, no matter who caused it or what put us in the place of experiencing some kind of pain or trauma or lack, the only person, the only one that can heal and get us out of something is us. There's a million things spirit can do for you, but they can't fucking make you believe. They can't make you desire. So what if they brought you $1 million tomorrow? It wouldn't change the internal dynamic. Your internal dynamics would only influence what you did with the opportunity brought to you. And it'll piss people off to feel like I have to do this before I can get this. But it's almost like a repeat. They're like, well, what would be the point? What would be the point of bringing this when this is where you're at? Because it isn't just as much. Could they bring something that would help lift you up out of this? Sure. But you've embodied it, which means it is encoded within you, and it is a thing that's driving your actions, your patterns, your everything, right? And so that means it's at like a deep cellular level, right? You've reprogrammed yourself to operate this way. It's not like something just shows up and you can just whoop, you know what I mean? Just because emotionally it elevates you, it's deep within your core now of your body. It's like muscle memory. It may not be fair, but it's the truth. Then we have union and power. You have replicated whatever made you feel like you got angry at feeling like you had to sacrifice aspects of yourself. And then to what end and for what? And they're saying, so you've embodied a pattern and habits that only keep you separated, because this is about union and power. And so, like, they're showing me the Kentucky flag that says, united we stand, divided we fall. So it's on the Kentucky flag. Something about division, whatever. And it's kind of like your whole life is a fucking mess. And I know it gets really patronizing and victim blaming, and but this is that moment where we have to go. You were a victim at one point, but your willingness to stay in this energy in a perpetual state, that's victimhood, and that's different. That is by choice. And I think that you wanted something to show up in the midst of your healing. Like, okay, I'll heal this part of myself. I'll do it. But I want something to show up. So you did. You started working on it. You started healing it. But the Problem is, when you remove a code, like in any kind of computer program or like in my phone, if I remove and delete a photo, it's still technically there until that space is overwritten with something new. When I delete and empty out my trash, it's basically just telling the phone, hey, you can use this space for something else. But it's still there. So all the healing you did to try and bring back your motivation, to try and bring back your desires, to try and feel that life force again, until you walk the talk, that old programming is still there. And right now, you're operating out of division within the self. And if you wonder why can't I bring in my manifestations? Why can't I? My efforts seem useless. One, because you're this is your version of the embodiment. I'm gonna dip my toe in and suddenly shit's gonna show up. Bitch, no, you cannot do that. What the fuck? First off, embodiment requires a little more than that. Okay, you're gonna have to submerge yourself in the process. You're gonna have to redo your patterns. You're gonna have to move differently. You're gonna have to actually walk the fucking talk. You healed all this shit, so prove it. You say you believe in yourself. You say that you love who you I just feel like it's like, yeah, you fucking do nothing. You do nothing. Problem is, if you got what you're aiming for right now, because of your inconsistency, you would still bring in the same types of people, situations, and circumstances that created this whole fucking thing with you. And sometimes I'm so powerful, nothing can touch me. Lies. Lies. I love it when I hear people like, my spirit team wanna. They'd be the first ones to fucking let some shit kick you in the ass because you're acting stupid. The fuck? I'm untouchable. No, you're not. You're not a messiah. You're not a god. You're not. You're human. And nobody gets a free pass at the human experience. So, okay. Oh, I think we're getting to it. Resentment. Oh, okay, I get it. You resent the fact that despite whatever has happened, it's all on your fucking shoulders. You resent spirit. You resent having to embody something that you once had all fucking ready, and now you have to figure it out again. I mean, this felt heavy. So really the inconsistency has something to do with this lack of belief that you embodied for so long, and now you resent what's required of you to get the fuck back out of it. Because all you can see are the last 2 decades of effort, exhaustion. Like, why? This is the loop. Why? I resent the fact that I have to do anything. Because if I do something, it doesn't come through anyways. Because my efforts don't really fucking matter. Because it's this loop. You're on a loop. You're on a loop. You've got to get out. You've got to get out. And unfortunately, that's one of the few times. There's so many times spirit can just dabble in shit. But not that. It doesn't mean it's fair. It's just the fucking truth. So as much as Spirit would love to just wave the magic wand, and this is where the true meaning of free will comes into play, because free will is not what people fucking think it is. There are always energies at play that act against us, push against us, create resistance. We don't always get to just choose where the fuck we want. That's not true. Free will is more of a selective niche area, and it's about the self and our internal world. That's where free will exists. You can stay resentful and you can stay in this fucking pattern. That is your fucking choice. And honestly, it feels like there's not enough tears you could shed to lighten your heart. What is required is walking the talk, is just the fucking doing. That's the only thing that's going to get you out of this. Because when you're on a loop, you're just going to come back to more pain. They show me somebody who, like, being held underwater and only gets to come up for just a quick breath and back under. And so they're constantly choking, and it's like a repetitive pattern. And it's like the only real way for you to catch your breath and not feel like you're drowning is to get the fuck out, right? And if it requires you to fight your way through something, I think there's this resentment gives you a feeling of discomfort. You don't move as naturally. I don't care how much work you've done, it doesn't feel very natural right now to you. It feels fake because you hold on to the resentment. Because you want something external to you to prove it. Like, it's prove it, spirit. Prove it that this is gonna, that I'm just not gonna be knocked back down. Prove it. Meanwhile, you're the only one suffering. It's not fair, but it's true. And the only place of power is when you're in union with the self. And spirit's like, if you've got to fucking fight, if that's what it feels like to you, and I think you're tired of fucking fighting, but they're like, call it what you fucking want. That's what you're gonna have to do. Turn that resentment into willingness to fight. And fight your way back out. Fight through the discomfort. Fight to do the actions one step at a time. Until your body begins to recognize that there's a new way of moving. I feel like your body holds on to the heartbreak that was you pouring yourself into something, having such high beliefs, and hitting such a level of despair. Eventually, doing the thing, whatever the thing is, whatever small step it is that you resent doing, the action, the movement, the uncomfortable. I just get the feeling of, if you have to cry while doing it, then fucking cry. But do it. The tears are not going to be, the tears help you from help you from creating a perpetual, like a festering wound. Like it helps you to not move into detachment, but it's not going to be the thing that saves you. And I think that you believed when people were telling you, you've got to feel it, you've got to move through it, that was going to make it better. And it's like, it's a step, but it's not the thing that gets you out of this. It gives you the ability, it opens you up to the possibility of getting out of something. Because when you're closed off, ain't shit fucking happening. No. Because it's not even something that you accept. So you thought moving through the emotions and letting it flow through you would be the answer, and everything would. And I am sorry to be the bearer of this news, but it is not. So there's no, you're right. You're fucking right. There's no amount of tears that's going to make this situation better externally or internally. Because the thing that needs to happen is you need to reprogram yourself at a deep cellular level. So you release the old programming through tears, but you have yet to overwrite that with something new. And if you're trying to figure out what is it that I got to do, be real with yourself. What's the fucking one thing you haven't done? Don't tell me or spirit the list of shit that you have done. What's the shit you haven't done? And you know exactly what that is. I'll be fucking damned if I do. I'll be damned this resentment. What do you fucking resent when you have to end up doing it? That's the shit. And as soon as you come to this understanding, you're going to be able to, this is skill. You're going to have to come to this understanding of what you've got to do and fucking do it. And do it until it becomes I'm seeing repetitiveness, and that's how something becomes a skill. That's how it becomes innate within you. And that's how you will create order and peace within your life. And that's when you will feel complete. As shitty as it may be. As shitty as it may be. I guarantee that you played maybe 20 to 30%. The odds have been stacked the fuck against you. You didn't ask to be taken out of that energy or who you were, but you were. And you set up this life and pattern of inconsistency based upon a lack of belief, and you won't get out of it, and you can't get out of it because you fucking resent to hell and back that you have to do this. And I know we always hear, I don't chase, I attract. I'm telling you right now, that does not apply to everything, and we fucking think that it does. I'm in the right energy, so it should just happen. Well, you wanted to know why you had to do it. Now you know, because you've got to reprogram it at a deep cellular DNA level, at your mitochondrial level. You have to reprogram it like a motherfucking computer. And that can only be done by you doing the fucking things. Moving differently. Doing the shit you fucking resent. They want me to come back to the moonflower. and it's not pretty, and it's not what you wanted to hear, and it's not what a lot of the frou-frou-y, magical, spiritual people will tell you, that it's all frequency. I mean, frequency fucking matters, but to place that like it's some kind of like it should be on a pedestal. We're having a human experience, for fuck's sake. We've been given a body. It's mind, body, spirit, right? Cry through it. Scream through it. Whatever you gotta fucking do, but just do it. That's what it's saying. Back to fucking Moonflower really quick. And I just feel like saying, and do it now. Kicking and screaming. Fucking do it. Like, I get the feeling of like resenting that you have to like showing up for something is what I want to say. Hey, you know what it fucking feels like? Like I'm starting over. That's why you resent it. You think I didn't ask to be pulled out of this. I was there fucking once. And shit happened. And I fought, but I couldn't keep my head above water. And now you want me to fight again just to start at ground zero again? We talked about transmutation and alchemy and everything else like that. Take that anger and fight. Fight through it. Fight through the resentment. Fight through the tears. Fight through and do it. Because now they're just being funny. I know everybody knows this dude. Okay. Thorne Bradley on TikTok and Instagram. He's the one with the axe and everything. And like he recently has intentionally gotten like the worst, hardest, what the fuck logs to try and cut through, right? And there was one where I swear, if I had counted, he probably had to swing that fucking axe a good 50 times. And it was one after the other. And it's almost as if, like, the more he had to do it, the more he fucking fought, right? And he just, and at the end, he was like, and he's like taking his fucking suspenders off. Well, people have stolen that image and made a meme of it, right? And there's some really funny ones where it's like, when I asked my husband to reenact chapter 37 of my spicy book, and my husband's like, or like my favorite one was when I finally convinced so and so to chase me through the forest, and I'm the one in 2 minutes in. It's like, and it's like I don't care how fucking exhausted because the accomplishment of getting out of that. Because you've been asking for liberation and freedom. And I feel like what they're trying to say is that the power, union, the power you seek from freedom and union will be, or not union, freedom and liberty, liberation, whatever the fuck. The shit that will come from that. I don't know. I mean, you're digging yourself out of a hole and you can't even see it yet. You think you're at ground zero. It doesn't feel like ground zero. I'm not going to give you that stupid little like, but you're not really starting over. You have experience now. Shut the fuck up. It is starting. You know what I mean? Sometimes we start to fuck over. It's got right. Do I look like I give a shit if I have experience? No, I'm starting over. Okay. But you haven't gotten out of the hole. You don't know what the fuck you're about to face. Because he is grinning his motherfucking ass off like, bitch, I fucking told you. Question me again, motherfucker. Like that, I swear, he's like, and his body's about to collapse. That's what I'm seeing in my head, is that moment where he's just like done, and he looks at the camera and he's grinning and about to fall to the ground, but he's like, right? That's where it is. My book's upside down. Okay, so I want to say, you ain't out of the hole. How the fuck do you know where you're going to be starting? What if what you thought you were in a certain place before, you're like, I don't want, like, I've already been there. But when you get out of the hole, that's not where you're going to be. I don't know what you fucking think you're going to be starting over, but it doesn't feel like you're starting anything over. It's going to be it's like a whole new level. It's like Mario. You up leveled. Sometimes the worlds kind of look similar. You're like, this again? It's not. You're not starting anything over. But spirit is not going to be able to fucking convince you of that, because you resent it like hell. Like, it's not a carrot to dangle in front of your face anymore. If they were like, it's going to be so new and so great. It reminds me of Trump. It's so wonderful. It's like, spirit knows you ain't going to believe that shit. So all they can do is tell you to get the fuck out the goddamn hole. Get yourself out this loop. And you'll see. Flower. Moonflower. A time of blossoming is about to begin. Now's not the time to hide away and stagnate. Yeah. They want you to do. I do feel like time is of the essence. There is something that you could have, and you could have quickly. You just have to fight and push through this resentment and do the things that you resent right now. And maybe you anticipate it's going to take a long time, but I feel like it's like breaking the fourth wall. Like, once that wall's broken, it's broken. You just have to push through it. So set your mind to something, expand, and know that you have the capacity to grow into an even more dynamic and accomplished individual. And as you move through this, every little achievement will breed confidence, and increased confidence will lead to a greater achievement. You will get there. You have to take the first step. Again, cry through it, fight through it, whatever you got to do, but you got to do it. Right? I feel like it's a shit show you're in charge of. Might as well start organizing. Yeah. But sometimes, wow, that resentment is like, and it's just something to have to push through. Alrighty. Well, that is the message today. I told you, when we sit down with coffee and tarot, it's because spirit, like, when you don't put parameters on what spirit can say, they come to talk. So, all right. I hope this message found whoever it's meant for. I hope you have a fantastic, wonderful day. And I will see you all for the next 3.